Something else you want to consider within a couple of weeks after the death of your loved one is the cancellation or transfer of services. Now, the personal representative can cancel services that are no longer needed, or maybe transfer services into the name of the person who will keep using them. So after all, if your spouse passed away, you will still need the utilities that were in their name. If utilities are needed temporarily, like keeping the deceased home's electricity connected from the time of death until the time the home is sold, then the personal representative will need to pay those bills with estate funds. And this is typically considered an acceptable estate expense. The personal representative should look for your loved one's bills and account information so they can call all these companies and make the appropriate changes. Remember to check for utility services like power and water, as well as subscriptions like streaming services or even gym memberships. Things you want to cancel, accounts you want to cancel. Some of these cancellations notify state office, like the Department of Motor Vehicles, that your loved one has died. Some of them, like email account cancellations, help protect against identity theft. Now, examples of things that need to be canceled are your loved one's driver's license, their credit cards, auto, health, disability, and other insurance policies. Now, particularly if the premiums are on auto pay, right, auto debit. You also want to close email accounts, as well as social media accounts. Now, remember that companies are going to need to confirm that your loved one really passed away before they can just cancel an account. So don't be surprised if they ask for some sort of documentation. In many cases, they'll want a death certificate. I want to speak a second to social media accounts, since we are on social media. It's good to know in writing what your loved one wanted. Do they want everything deleted, or do they want their pages to continue? Encourage them to leave, you or, whoever the designated person is, specific instructions in writing, including their login credentials, username and password, so that trusted person has a way of managing, the process, and make sure that everything's tidied up. Some platforms, by the way, they do provide planning tools for that trusted person to use, such as, Facebook has a legacy contact and Google has an inactive account manager feature. They can include those instructions as part of, your loved one's estate plan. One other thing, within a couple of weeks after the death of your loved one is to, take some time to process. And I want you to at least consider grief counseling. I've had the pleasure of having a therapist on this show who, just underscored the need and the importance and the social acceptability now of counseling and therapy. Grief following the death of someone close is one of the most painful and stressful life events. People experience it in different ways, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Everyone grieves differently. Shock, anger, sadness, guilt, stress, they're common feelings during this process, and they can be overwhelming. Sometimes there are no emotions at all. They're just numbness. And some people may find it really hard to cope with their loss, and some people believe that they'll never be happy again. Grief counseling offers support during this particularly challenging time. It's a form of therapy that helps those who are left behind, those who are grieving, to explore and process all these confusing feelings that they're having. Grief counseling, from what I understand, doesn't try to hurry the process along. It supports people as they grieve in their own way and in their own time. So therapy has evolved so that now you can even seek teletherapy or counseling online. You don't even have to leave home. So I urge you to at least consider it, take advantage of it.